Now, most of your videos, if not all of them in the shows, are short form, several minutes. You haven't adopted the 22-minute format that seems to be becoming popular with some web shows. It seems to me that you're creating shows for the web and not trying to create TV on the web.
Yeah, I think that's fair. It's important to figure out what your venue is. So, you know, at mydamnchannel.com, we have concentrated very much on short form series format. YouTube is largely a short form format, but then when you start to talk about what's going on now at Amazon, Hulu, and Netflix, those are different venues where the format, I think, can really call for TV and movie length. I think it's the important decision that the audience makes in their mind about where am I going and what am I expecting to see. So as a studio, as a producer, we're definitely producing longer format that you'll see from us in the months ahead. But where you see it is just as important as how long it should be. You got to think about who your partners are.
Now, I guess in talking to some in terms of the long form and the short form, I always like the short form because you can get in and get out quickly. You're not making a big investment of time at any particular sitting unless you choose to binge or watch several episodes. And that always seemed to be the beauty of web shows to me before the industry matured, let's say. And you've kind of stayed with that as things have changed otherwise. I mean, there's some other creators we've talked about who have gone from Leap Year, for example, went from short form in its first season to 22-minute television-length episodes in its second season.
Right, but the main venue for that is Hulu.
Yes.
So, you know, it gets back to that decision about where you're going to be.
So you're saying on what platform as opposed to where being what device, whether you're sitting at home or sitting in the airport in terms of location?
I think it's an important decision to make. But again, you're also making business decisions about, you know, the best productions at the best price. So, yeah.
Okay. Now, you brought up your partnership with Blip that was announced this spring. You're going to do 4 shows with Blip?
That's right.
How did that come about? What led to that?
Well, I guess first and foremost, the person running the company. I really thought that Kelly Day was a great executive and a really good business partner. And Blip, of course, has been around for a long time. They started almost all the way back same time as YouTube, the dawn of time. But for phase 1, I guess, of that company, an aggregator of great content, not a creator, not really investing in originals. So we've had great partnerships and continue to have them with companies like YouTube and now Microsoft buying original series for My Damn Channel. So we met with Kelly and the entire senior team at Blip and started to put together what we've just launched in the last few months, which is a multi-layered relationship that includes the creation of original series for them that you'll see both on My Damn Channel and on Blip and on other platforms, but they're shows that we're producing for Blip. And then we've just begun to put some of the historic library of over 5,000 original My Damn Channel videos up on Blip, and we're promoting to them. So we're pushing back and forth and also looking at selling together as well.
You're bringing back Wainy Days as part of the 4 shows?
Yeah, well, like I said, we've done Wainy Days just about every year since we started. We've done 5 seasons. The last season was sponsored by Fiat, and when we get to season 6, we'll do that in a partnership with Blip.
Okay, because that's been a while since season 5, about a year and a half.
Well, like I said, we do them about every year since the day 1 of the company was episode 1 with David Wain and Elizabeth Banks. So David's constantly now directing and creating feature films, and the new one will star Paul Rudd and Amy Poehler. So in between his projects on the big screen, we get more and more Wainy Days every year.
About how long does it take to produce a season of Wainy Days?
Last season, David and Ken Marino wrote them. John Stern is our producer who does them for us. We probably can shoot an entire season in approximately a week, and then of course there's a hell of a lot of writing and pre-production before that, and all the posts. So, but I think the last season we got just about all of it done in a very, very intense week.
Of all the projects and the shows that you've had, was there one that you had a strong belief in that didn't work out, that disappointed you? Not that the show disappointed you, but the result.
Well, sure, we've done a lot over the last 6+ years, but I don't think I'm going to out the one or two that I was disappointed. But that's
those instances.
That's life. I mean, that's life. There've been a couple, but you know, as a business owner, you're really careful about the bets that you make. You know, so you know, the investments that we make in content are made very carefully, and you know, the beauty of working in this world versus, say, my radio life or my television life. Everybody bitched and moaned about, you know, Arbitron and Nielsen and all the failures or potential problems with those ratings methodologies, but you and I learn exactly every minute how something's doing online in real time, and that's an education that allows you to make decisions quickly and smartly about when to keep going and when to stop with things that aren't working.
Is it important for a show to hit immediately on the web in the first few days or weeks, or is it possible for a show to build legs over time?
Well, I guess the way I'd answer that, and I realize we're getting short on time, so I'll give you a short answer. I think the way I'd answer that is it gets harder by the minute, right? To get what you used to be able to get in 2006, 2007. I mean, Mark Malkoff is one of the best creators that we work with, and Mark has a new video that we produced for MSN, and it's called Carried Like a Baby. Now, in the last 48 hours that Mark and our entire team have been doing what you've got to do after you make a great video, you've got to push, right? We've got to push and get to as many people as we know and say, Jeff, do us a favor, take a look at this video, try and help us get some views. By the time this Google Hangout ends, I think we'll have achieved 300,000 views in the last 48 hours for this one comedy video. It gets harder to do that by the day, but you've got to have great talent, and in the case of someone like Mark Malkoff, I don't know anybody who works as hard as he works to then help push that video out instead of just making it and sitting back and saying, well, I hope it gets views. You know, so
on social media, they have to talk to people like us and do the rounds of interviews and plug away, right?
Yeah, it's a second job, and you know, you really have to be as committed to marketing your work as you do to creating it.
What do you see in the short-term future for the web show industry and web entertainment? I mean, because I think it's hard to look out another 5 years. But
well, this is a great year. I mean, this is a great year. I think that we're talking on the day when House of Cards, Arrested Development, and some of the other new Netflix shows have just kind of dominated the Emmy nominations. And we've been getting contacted all throughout the day by the media. The LA Times called just a couple of an hour or so ago to say, you guys are one of the first guys to do original series. How do you feel about Netflix and a House of Cards, you know, exploding onto the Emmy nominations? I mean, this is a great year where what happened, again, in the early days of cable was you had to have great original hit programming in order to take a venue, a platform, a network like an AMC or, in our case, VH1 or an MTV, and really get into people's heads as the place to go for the best shit. It took a long time to get to a point where some of the best shit is now coming in native original digital, and that's only really been a factor for the last year. So where's it going? It's going, like, I think, to start moving a bit faster in 2013 and 14 than it did in those painful, hard early years of 06, 07, 08.
The trend of the last year or so is going to start to accelerate, do you think?
It's moving faster in a good way if you're a content creator. Yep.
What are you watching right now?
Well, let's see. This week we actually dove in again to that same venue, and my wife and I got hooked on Orange is the New Black. So I think we're 4 or 5 episodes into that. It's pretty intense.
Did you watch any of the Amazon Prime pilots or the Amazon Studio pilots when they were
As many as I could, yeah. I mean, you know, what I'm doing constantly here is we're producing original every day. So I'm not as much of a consumer in this last 6 years, 7 years of my life as I am a producer. And, you know, I just don't have the time to watch as much as I used to.
Sure. I know you're pressed for time. I've got one last question, if I may.
Great.
What drives you?
What drives me?
Yes.
Well, look, I mean, this is a great opportunity, I think, for anyone who, like me, grew up in a world where you had, you know, a small number of networks on television and a small number of studios in Hollywood making, you know, only a small percentage of, say, film and television. So what drives me every day is that you and I have the ability to not ask anyone's permission to wake up every single morning and try and make something as good as the television or film of old. And we are our own mass distributors, you and me, and in our case, all the people who work their ass off at My Damn Channel to build this into a network of the future. So that's the idea that started this whole thing, and it's the idea that keeps getting me out of bed, you know, 5 o'clock in the morning every day. This is of media done by you know, people that are really hungry, really inspired, and really you know, passionate about playing by their own rules.
Rob, we love your channel. We love what My Damn Channel's doing and what you've done. You've got a terrific website, a terrific lineup of shows. You've curated them incredibly well. I hope I'm not being too overly effusive in my praise, but
thanks. Thanks so much for asking us. I appreciate it.
All right, have a great afternoon, and thanks for being here today, everybody. Rob Barnett from My Damn Channel, and where can people find you? On Twitter, Facebook?
Yeah, I'm on all those places. You know, I'm a Damn Rob on Twitter, and you know, you can find all the My Damn Channel social spots and all of our talent as well. Which you should talk to them; they're a lot more interesting than me.
Thank you, Rob. Be well.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.